I'm going with the counselor.
Bye.
You gonna get a counselor?
So they try to avoid them. I guess when they get
Meet my divorce attorney.
Yeah, when I've already talked to him.
Too late.
Bill Mathews, corner of a square down on the east side of the square, across the courthouse. Bill, you deal with everything. That guy just saying that. I mean, divorce, that's a big problem.
It is.
Oh yeah, it is, and you know the effects on children, you know, from divorce, it's just unbelievable.
Why do people use the children's pond so much?
They can.
They just want to get even with each other,
Leverage.
You know, after divorce, the children should still think of their dad as a hero and their mom as wonderful, and you know, it's hard for a lot of
that's in a make-believe world,
right? So well, it's hard for a lot of ex-husbands and wives to put their children first and not continually deride their ex-spouse. Yeah.
I mean, that is. We've been guilty of it ourselves.
Hey, I was talking yesterday. I was leaving Dixie Auto Parts. I got to give a shout out to my good buddies down at Dixie Auto Parts. They got anything and everything you need, especially those Honda generators down there. Where you go see them. This guy stopped me. He said, "Jamie, I got a problem. Real estate." Said, "I've got an auction. I paid thousands of dollars down. Come to find out, there's a lien on that property. I can't get my down payment back. What I do?" First thing I said, call Bill Mathews. Is that a legit question you get a lot?
That's interesting. I'll have to take a look at that and see exactly.
Well, in case he calls you, I'll send him.
You can always close a loan, and then hold the money, and then if somebody says there's a lien, you can close it, let that guy buy the property, hold the money, then pay the money, into the court. So, that sounds unusual.
Ways to get around
right,
it.
there's ways to get around that.
But anyway, I told him to call you because you could answer anybody's question down that way. And he's trying to get his money back, so he'll be paying you.
Well, yeah. I mean, you have to. If you're
So if y'all get ready to close the house in Limestone County or anywhere in North Alabama, see Mr. Mathews over here, east side of the square, except he probably can't close a loan where you just bought some property at the North Pole. Now, how did you've been in Alaska for bowling. You've been up there on a secret mission. If you tell us, you'll have to kill us.
They'd kill y'all. Yeah.
And you've been up there. There you are now. Were you just driving by the North Pole, or you just saw signs that said North Pole?
I drive through it.
This was this week.
Yeah, I drive through it going back to Fairbanks from where I'm coming from. So.
What's it like?
That's cute.
You're the only person I know who's actually been there at the North Pole. They making toys? Could Zach get a job there?
Zach could get a job. Zach could fit right in at the Santa Claus farm there.
Do they really have the farm?
House, whatever you want to call it.
Let's call it the Santa Claus.
So
Santa Claus house.
You've been in Alaska. What's the weather for this time of year?
Well, it was minus 11. The lowest high was minus 12.
The lowest high.
Lowest high.
Well, the highest low, or whatever you want to. I don't know. It was minus 12. Then the average temperature was around 2 or 3
Is
degrees.
it safe to get out of where you're staying?
Not when he's driving.
When the wind's blowing, we go through cold weather training because you don't want to be out in the weather with your skin exposed.
How did you
Certain
not know
temperatures.
you were driving on water?
I knew
happen?
I knew I was driving on water, but I thought it was
Completely
frozen enough because I was down by the glaciers. We was going into the mountains.
And it obviously wasn't.
Yeah, just playing around.
And almost drowned.
Well, we wasn't going to drown. It wasn't that deep, but
Bill, you thirsty?
Okay.
Did you take a cup of coffee and throw it in the air?
you can do that when it hits minus 40.
Really? And it'll freeze?
Yeah, it'll freeze. At minus
So that
40,
actually works?
Like it explodes almost.
well, at minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit is where minus 40 degrees Celsius comes together. So it's the same temperature.
Let me go back to
Function, though?
Let me go back to the North Pole.
Huh.
Was there anybody there? Is it a regular town?
There's a few people there. Yeah, it's a regular town. They got police, the whole
It's
works.
light right now.
And it's daylight because it's
That time.
the sun. When the sun comes up, it doesn't come up over the top of you. It comes up over the horizon, and you see it rising to the east, setting in the west, and you can see it.
Oh, wow.
Now, eventually, when I go back up there, it'll barely peak, and then in January it'll stay dark most of the
He's
time.
sending me some
How
satellite dish
interesting.
pictures. Our satellite dishes here point up.
Yeah.
Those point
Right.
down.
Yeah, they point down. They sure do, and it's the weirdest thing because you're thinking,
Will it
gosh,
bounce off the snow?
I don't know how it works.
Well,
It's
as you're
just right
sitting
off
there the other
bat.
night by yourself, except for me
Watching
on the
the
phone,
game.
watching the LSU game, what were your thoughts?
We're going to win this game. I said, this game. Matter of fact, I told my wife, I called her up and said, we're going to win this game. And then all of a sudden, we got that 15-yard penalty. I said, maybe I spoke too soon. Because I knew if we'd win in overtime.
All right. Arkansas is a
Glad you
2-point favorite over LSU at Arkansas.
I think Arkansas, well, I told you on the phone. I said, I think we'll beat Alabama but lose to Arkansas.
What about the state game?
I think Alabama's going to win that game. State's good. State got us early when we were real young, not playing
All
together.
right.
So
What about Mr. Matthews' favorite team? What do you think about Auburn, Georgia?
I think Georgia's going to win that game.
All right, Mr. Matthews, your rebuttal here. I'm playing judge.
I think the loss is going to make Auburn respond. After a loss, you always play better the next week, and I think Georgia thinks they're going to win, and because of that, I think maybe Auburn can pull it off.
But it's at Georgia, right?
Yeah.
Now,
After the Bama
but let me tell you, one of the things that's going to hurt Alabama that nobody has talked about is LSU beat them up.
Now, that is one thing about it. There's
They
a lot
did
of
beat 'em up.
injuries.
They are a beat-up team.
But that's always the game. That game
Yeah,
is always
that's it, man.
made
That's
like
it.
that. So
It's been a great season. Just gets better and better, and this committee is getting a lot of flack, man.
All right.
well, now, see, I had TCU above too. I had TCU above.
I ain't worried about Alabama. It's just that Florida State's undefeated.
But so is Mississippi State. But TCU is, you got to look at the way they score. I mean, they're averaging like 60 points a freaking game, and you can't say who they played because they beat the number 7 Kansas State.
But their schedule gets worse because they don't play nobody the rest of the year. It's going to be interesting how it pans out.
But if Alabama wins, I mean, if they do
See,
their
Auburn,
duty,
see,
they're
if
in.
we beat State, Auburn beats us, then you've got all these people with 2 losses for the SEC title.
You're right.
So
Way
who
to go.
picks?
Good to have you back there. Shut up.
So
I'm
who
glad to be
picks
back
that?
for a while anyway. So
Tell Santa we said hello when you go back up there.
I will. Matter of fact,
Didn't you get Leah's class a video from
I
him?
got them a video for that, and their mouths dropped. So they're third graders, and they was like, they just couldn't believe it was Santa
was
Claus.
talking to
So
them.
Mine too. I couldn't believe he was at the North Pole.
I'm gonna get him.
If that's the case,
I'm gonna
the
get him to do
scenario
Maddie
you just
next
said,
time,
who
so.
picks the people that go to play?
The committee.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the SEC champion.
I've always said all along there's only going to be one SEC team
Yeah, I
in the
think
Final
well,
Four.
State's the only one I see getting a chance to get in. Thank you, Bill. East side of the square. There he is with Nick Saban. You always got to show that photograph. I seen Bill a couple years ago.
Little Nicky.
All right,
Little
we'll see y'all
Nicky.
bright and early tomorrow.
Go
Y'all stay
Tigers.
warm. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Local and loving